Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Prigozhin made some statements while he was speaking with a blogger, and interesting statements taken by Reuters as meaning that the Wagner Group will cease to exist pretty soon. And this is the title of the article I'm going to discuss in this video. Actually, Prigozhin said that they are going to quote him. So let's start by reading this article coming from Reuters, as I said, and it is from yesterday, which is the 28th of April 2023. Russia's Wagner Group could soon cease to exist, founder tells blogger. Well, nothing, everything changes, everything transforms. So I'm expecting a transformation, not an end. What are you going to do? Going to start playing baseball now or something? Or what? You're going to start painting? I don't think so. Reuters. Russia's private Wagner militia, which is leading the assault on Bakhmut in Ukraine and has been active in Africa, could soon cease to exist, founder Yevgeny Prigozhin said in video remarks to a blogger that were released on Friday. It was not immediately clear when Prigozhin had spoken and how serious he was being. Earlier this week, he withdrew comments about the front line he said had been a joke. Prigozhin has complained repeatedly about how Russia is conducting the war in Ukraine. He often says the regular armed forces are not giving his men the ammunition they need and sometimes accuses top brass of betrayal. And I'm quoting right now Prigozhin. Now, with regard to the need in general for shells at the front, what we want. Today, we are coming to the point where Wagner is ending, he told Russian war blogger Semyon Pegov. And I'm quoting again, Wagner, in a short period of time, will cease to exist. We will become history. Nothing to worry about. Things like this happen. End quote. He continued. So Wagner, in short period of time, will cease to exist. We will become history. Nothing to worry about. Things like this happen. Pegov posted a clip on his Telegram channel. Wagner did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Prigozhin, known for his combative style and ironic sense of humor, said on Thursday he had been joking when he said his forces would stop shelling Bakhmut to allow Ukrainian forces to show the city to US journalists. Prigozhin said this week his troops were suffering heavy casualties due to lack of support from Moscow. Last week he expressed concern about a counterattack by well-equipped Ukrainian troops at Bakhmut. Wagner has in the past dispatched soldiers to fight in Syria and in conflicts across Africa. In January, the United States formally designated Wagner as a transnational criminal organization, freezing its US assets for helping Russia's military in the Ukraine war. So, what do you think? Is it BSing? I think that he is saying this as two options, or maybe more than two. First, let's discard the obvious. He's not going to hang his thing on the wall and start watching The View or other bullshit. Okay? He can't. He got a tiger by the tail. He can't do that. That's the first one. And what is he going to do? Start cooking or something? He's not going to do that. What I think he's going to do, he's probably going to change into something else. Probably his private military company, will probably merge into the Russian military. And he's going to be awarded a certain kind of commander, whatever. We'll find out. There's another thing. I don't think if he's going to close it, he's going to name it some differently or something like that. I don't think Prigozhin will die as a non-mercenary boss. He's got too many enemies, and I think he can't afford in Russia, and I think in the international arena. There are people who want to take care of him, if you know what I mean. So there have been reports and statements made that he's a wanted man, he's this and that. The Ukrainian stated that, I think, just name one. And in Russia, probably, if you don't have your private army, you basically are toast if you go in certain directions. So now that's not going to be the case. I give this statement like, as I said, he's going to be, I don't know, a nice dog from now on, just staying over there, retired, go fishing. I think that's 1% I would give it. Not impossible, but very, very unlikely, improbable. So what do you think? What are the chances? Or maybe he's going to be a, how they call it here, a honorary guest or honorary something position in Wagner, and he's going to give someone else the power. But if you do that, that someone else will you. It happened before, so I don't think he's got a tiger by the tail or by the balls, and he cannot release the tiger. If he's going to release it, he's going to be munched. All right, well, we'll see. He has no chance. If Russia, let's say Putin and his buddies are exterminated by the free world, then he's going to be taken care of. What he's going to do? He's going to fight for 2-3 months with his thousands of people for their lives, and then will be blown up by the free world, if you know what I mean. So he knows he has to stay with these guys and stay in power. So, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. And don't worry, he's not going to go anywhere unless they blow him up. And it's very strange, though, that he made some visits in on the front and he was not blown up. That was, for me, very interesting. So the Ukrainians, the Americans, not the Ukrainians, the Americans did not have the information, his coordinates, his trajectory, his wherever he's going to go. They couldn't figure it out. It's hard for me to believe. I think he's just protected in the way that the order was not given for his destruction. Remember, the Americans were capable of blowing up some Russian generals, military generals. I'm talking not baseball generals, military generals at the beginning. And probably the Russians said, okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to blow up your generals in Ukraine, and say, stop. And they gave the order and nothing happened. Remember, not because there's no Russian generals on the front. It's because these guys are not shooting at them. Is that strange? Do you think the Russians now all of a sudden became wiser, like an order? They figured out they get hunted down. So same with Prigozhin. Prigozhin showed up in Bakhmut. Prigozhin showed up everywhere, and then he was not blown up. I think he's protected for now. As Zelensky is protected. Probably that's the things goes. If this guy's gets blown up, you get blown up. And not Zelensky, that Zelensky will do it. No. It's the Americans will, take care of him. But with the Ukrainian's finger and the American weapon. That's how it works. And they say, oh, it was the Ukrainian. Okay, well, it was the Ukrainian, yeah. But all the information coordinates were put in the weapon. And it's like, okay, tell me when to do it. Now, boom. Oh, the Ukrainians killed Prigozhin. That could happen too. What do you think? Zelensky has all those guys around him to protect him from what? From the Russians? I think from protecting him from being bombed by others. And if those guys receive an order from the masters to have a little General Patton accident with Zelensky, that would happen. I have no doubt about that one. So those guys, he's kind of a captive, Zelensky. If he says something he's not supposed to, these guys will just, his jeep will roll over, if you know what I mean. And he's just going to stay in coma 2 days in hospital, and then we're going to have a state funeral. And the whole world will mourn the great General Zelensky. So, anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.